Hello, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. Welcome to the month of June 2025. Your career is about to rocket into new levels of success as we move Jupiter into your 10th house during the merry month of June. And you're going to also notice perhaps that there's an increase in your resourcefulness when it comes to your finances. And I've got some blurry lighting in here, but I'll deal with what I've got. Let's get rolling. I'm recording this on May 20th for my Patreon community who gets all of my content early access ad free. Come join us there. Otherwise, you're watching this on YouTube several days later. So let's talk about how amazing the month of June will feel because of what I'm calling the sea change of sign changes. 4 planets are changing signs, and 2 of them, Jupiter and Venus, into signs of great power, strength, and dignity. This is going to open up something for all of us that makes us feel like a really good month. A really positive energy is coming through the sky, and no sign doesn't have a good feeling about being in the month of June for the most part. When you're listening today for your sun sign, you're listening for things to do with career and purpose, moon sign, home, where you live. And when it comes to your rising sign, anything circumstantially about you, anything to do with where, career, purpose, relationship, the whole gamut is open up for investigation. Now, I'm dealing with seasonal tree pollen allergies at high in my town of Vancouver. So if I'm blinking or squinting or my eyes are watering, I apologize. I realize that they're watering as I try to do this recording for you right now. But let's keep on keeping on. The going gets tough, the tough get going. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. We're using the Western Tropical Zodiac, whole sign houses. And as you might know, the fixed stars and minor asteroids are a part of my specialty. And the only thing I want to share with you before we jump into how wonderful this month ahead looks for you, I will let you know that my Sky Reader class starts soon in July and August, 6 weeks with me to be your own astrologer, time your best life. You want to learn in a group setting with me with more connection to me? Check the description box below. You'll see the information for getting on the early bird discount waitlist, for the description of the course. And if you want my all signs bundle for 2025, 24 hours of video content, 2 hours for each sign, plus a PDF guidebook outlining the chronology of what you need to look at in the year of 2025, it's below. It's half price. Check it in the more button ... description box below. Everything about me and my website and my readings, it's all underneath the video. That's me going, I can get through this. Here we go. Number 1, through the allergies, not the video. Number 1, by far, one of the most exciting parts of June for everybody is the exaltation of Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. Now, for you, though, I'm going to give you a caveat, and that is that Venus is the Lord of your sign. You are ruled by her. And this means that her movement into her great dignity in Taurus is going to benefit you greatly as well. So this becomes a doubly positive month for you as a Libra sun, moon, or rising sign. You'll notice as we begin the month that Venus is still in the sign of Aries, and that's okay. She's finishing up a long stay here. It's complicated. It was all about the retrograde. But as she's looking at Chiron and merging with him on June the 1st, expect perhaps to heal something in the committed long-term relationship house, the house of business partnerships, and the house where you find legal contracts and also your audience and marketplace. A chironic wound that has been bugging you like a bad itch you can't scratch ever since 2019. Venus is going to try to love it up and support you in removing that wound from your reality the best you can. In fact, she even has help from Mars in your 11th house, meaning a friend, an ally, a benefactor, or a sibling one older can help you recover from this chironic, difficult story that has been bothering you on and off since 2019. Now, one thing I want to mention here is that she's going to then go past Chiron, and as she moves forward and gets out of his orbit and passes him, she begins to sextile, which is a positive thing. All right, Jupiter, the two benefics are having a positive, loving conversation of luck. What could it mean? Luck in the book publishing industry, luck with contracts and deals to do with publications and publishing, lucky events connected to long-term committed love and foreign lands, travel, negotiations and deals to do with legal matters that are super good and favor you. Good luck for your primary significant long-term partner if you have one. And if you're single, lucky in love because maybe you meet somebody in a higher educational setting, maybe you're traveling abroad. Those are all possibilities. All said and done, on. The vibe is positive. The vibe is going to bless you, and it may put you a lot more in alignment with your true purpose in life. For Jupiter is in a Dharma house and would like you to be on target in purpose, particularly in the work you do in the world. The sixth house is the work and service you do. He rules that, and he's finishing a long story of getting you aligned with a deeper purpose over the last year. Then he's going to move into your 10th house, which is a big deal, but we'll get to that in chronological order. Now, on June the 6th, Venus is going to ingress or move into the sign of Taurus. Now, this is important because she is your boss. She's the Lord of Libra. And in her home kingdom of Taurus, what she can do is she can elevate your financial success when it comes to the following types of unearned income. And I call this chunky money. This could be money you get because you got an inheritance, a book publishing a sign-on bonus, in advance, a chunk of money from a tax rebate, money from an inheritance, money from a stock investment taking off. All of these are possible in this kind of money house, and Venus will bring you luck here. And she's going to be here all the way through to July the 4th. Well, it's interesting to see around the first 4 days of July, she bumps into Uranus, and that could be a sudden, exciting jolt of financial goodness and gain for you, a real light at the end of a tunnel, or a real spark of excitement around financial goodness in money that you're not earning on a paycheck type basis. So stay tuned for that. In July, we'll be covering that in more detail. As we move forward on June 7th and 8th, you're going to notice that Mercury is going to meld with Jupiter. Well, the two of them mean good news. Jupiter, good. Mercury, information or news. Good news. Yay! On June 8th, maybe a publishing deal, maybe an academic success story, maybe a court case ruling in your favor by the judge. Good news about long distance travel, visas, passports, and pilgrimages. These are 9th house stories, and you are super happy with whatever this exciting good news vibe is. And it might be a bit offside. You might not have seen it coming because Uranus is in an in a semi-sextile. So it could also be like blindsided by the good news, and it could have a financial element to it. Yay, you. Now, when we move into June the 9th, you're going to notice Jupiter getting ready to cross the sign boundary and Mercury, both of them. First, Mercury on June 9th, moving into Cancer, your career house, your reputation house, the house of, what other people see you doing in the world. Well, you're going to be communicating, maybe speaking in front of people, negotiating deals, marketing and selling, being visible with your communications and ideas in this part of the sky where it's high noon of the OK Corral. Everyone can see you at the top of the sky, and you're doing a lot of mercurial activities. Again, as I said, maybe you're negotiating, maybe you're communicating a lot, maybe you're selling and marketing or publicizing things. And that's you. And you're going to be up there doing that Mercury dance. Mercury's not there for one day. He's there for many days. He won't leave until June the 26th. So June 9th to the 26th, are you ever busy in a sort of communicating mode in the 10th house of career? But it gets even better. Jupiter adds his flavor to the story the next day on June the 10th. Depends on time zone, 9-10, but here for most of us on June the 10th, Jupiter and Mercury are together in your 10th house, and they're actually in a pretty well good conjunction, 3 degrees away from each other on June 10th. This could be a very good lucky break in your career. This could be a moment to shine at the top of the sky, to accelerate your position and work to a new level of leadership, to get that promotion or raise negotiated with a boss, whatever it is, it favors success in your career. And Jupiter's here for a year until the 30th of June, 2026. So you're going to have superior blessings and luck in your career space for that long. And you only get this kind of luck once every 12 years. So use it or lose it. How can you not use it? It's going to be fabuloso. So Jupiter starts off here and Mercury's with him. So again, communications, phone calls, text messages, negotiations, contracts, and deals work in a square to Saturn all month long. Saturn and Jupiter will be squared. It gets exact in the middle of the month around the 15th. Well, it's like Saturn's putting the brakes on Jupiter's exuberance, and that's okay, especially when it comes to signing on the dotted line, legal contracts or deals. Saturn says strategic. Saturn says realistic. Saturn says cautionary note. Let's take a close look at, is this sustainable? Is this good for the long game? Also, Saturn is in the house of significant others in your life, and they may not be particularly pleased with whatever the success story is. Your long-term mate or spouse might be kind of raining on your parade, or they're having difficulties in their life, and it's taking some of your joy factor out of the success you're having in your career. Hopefully, your long-term mate isn't a Debbie Downer, but that's Saturn's job, to be the Debbie Downer. Maybe also you're getting some kind of heavy energy from someone important in your life, whether it's a spouse, a really close friend, and they're dealing with some difficult circumstances with Neptune. And that can be addictions, by the way, or mental health challenges. And so while you will have a good thing in the top of your sky, your career, you might be a little bit weighted down by a relationship of some sort. And you'll feel this kind of, it's great in my career, it's okay in my relationship all month of June. It's just going to linger there. Don't worry, it does not last. So it is by July, it's in the rearview mirror. Now, one of the things I want to point my attention to is Mercury also squares Saturn as well. So both of them, Jupiter and Mercury, are like, if it comes to contractual agreements for career-related matters, please be careful. Neptune can bring confusion, right? Mercury is mute in a water sign. He's squaring Neptune, who's delusion and confusion. Saturn's trying to bring a reality check. So I would definitely consult a significant advisor about signing legal contracts connected to work and career. Just be cautious about that. And this is pertaining to around June the 10th. Now, on the 9th and 10th of the month, Venus is sextiling Pluto. Venus is a goddess of money and Pluto is a god of wealth. Well, they're sextile, squaring. There they are. Okay, so the power of love, the love of power, regenerative transformation, and forces of catalytic change, rejuvenation, perhaps. But in what? In love, romance, sexuality? Pluto's in your 5th house. Secrets, tantra, kink? Venus is in the 8th house. Deep, vulnerable intimacy and romantic love, secrets and truth-telling about what's really going on. I say truth-telling because of Jupiter sextile Venus. So truth-telling about sexuality in a long-term relationship, secret love romances blossoming, particularly in a career setting. These are stories that could be difficult, transformative, regenerative around June 9th and 10th with that Pluto-Venus square. I'll be covering that in a lot more depth on my channel if you want to subscribe and like, okay? Because I will bring into it it's coming off of a conjunction and it has a deeper schedule to it than just the 1 or 2 days. But it's worth following me for that information. On June the 11th, we're going to see a full moon at 20 degrees of Sagittarius, and that 20 degrees Sagittarius full moon light is in your 3rd house. Now, your 3rd house is a house of short distance travel and skills-based learning and local environment and neighborhood and neighbors and siblings and aunts and uncles and cousins, and particularly a sibling one younger. Well, a full light is shining there. A full moon, like a spotlight, a revelatory light is there, coming off of the new moon in the November timeframe of 2024. So now you planted a seed in the fall of 24, and it's ripening now. If you're a writer, this is great. A marketer, a seller, an online beast, a communicator, a scryer, a diviner, or an oracle. These are things the moon loves to do in her joy in the 3rd house, fulfilling a greater level of success and fulfillment and ripening and harvesting of the fruits of seeds you planted regarding your ability to be a teacher, a scryer, a diviner, a writer, a communicator, and a marketer, and a seller. And now you're fulfilling some level of attainment or success from seeds planted last November. And I noticed that the moon, as it is becoming full, shining brightly in this part of your sky, it's not without its strength because it comes into a fire trine to Mars and to Chiron. And this is going to be initiative, bold, daring, fire starter energy. And the fire starter energy says, well, I'm a moon that wants to start something. Pay attention, because I'm connecting to business partners, the audience, the marketplace, where you've had that chironic wound since 2019. And I'm super loving up this Mars story, where I want you to propel yourself with great passion, ardor, and advancement into greater levels of social influence, recognition, and career gains. So this is not just about the day of the moon, June the 11th, but rather the 2 weeks that follow and up to 6 months later. Don't forget, we started June 1st. I don't know if I told you, but Venus conjuncted Chiron, healing a wound about long-term committed love and business partnerships, right? So now we see that there's a real fire on that Chiron, and there's something great trying to come together with daring, initiative, and boldness, but success and ease and flow and luck. Favors from people in high places could catapult you to new levels of success in third house matters, for example, in the 2 weeks that follow. For example, getting invited to a famous person's podcast or something like that. And then, suddenly having a new level of success with the audience and marketplace. On June the 12th, we're going to go back to June the 11th with Mars trining Chiron as well. Not only does Venus conjunct the Chironic wound, but Mars is trining Chiron on the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Yeah, you're really working on that healing of that Chironic wound in marriage. If you're married, fine, but I'm saying maybe your partner's going through a wounded time in their life. It's a wound about the committed and significant love stories and friendships and business partner relationships in your life since 2019. We see a lot of healing going on this month, June 1st with Venus, and here we are, June 11th with Mars adding to the mix as well. A friend, a favor from a friend, an ally, a benefactor can really support you in feeling much more like you belong in life to the people who matter to you, and they belong to you. You're in with your in crowd, your in tribe, your chosen family. Now, Venus is sextiling Mercury on June 11th and 12th, right? Now, Venus here, Mercury here. So I'd say on the 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, 8th to the 12th, Venus and Mercury are in a communion of positive news, good news around money and information, money and ideas. This is chunky money. Mercury rules contractual agreements and signing those agreements. So possibly signing some kind of work agreement, business agreement, again, sign-on bonuses, severance packages, advances, good news, money and career that comes in a chunk. Venus and Mercury and Jupiter are focusing on giving it to you around June the 8th to the 12th. Now we come into the difficult sky that the world is going to have to deal with. Think of false flag events. I don't know. Think of black swan events. Think of unexpected bad things that happen to do with violence or war. Sorry about that, guys. Just have to let you know, Libra, the peacekeeper, what's going on here. But in your own life, June 12th to the 16th, Mars squares Uranus, and it's not about that. It's something else. So Mars is doing his best, like the guy is up here working it, to advance you forward with decisions and actions you're making and taking to increase your career success, move in alignment with your long-term plans and goals, get rid of friends or groups of people that no longer serve you, that aren't your people anyway. That's the thing he's been doing up here since mid-April till the mid-June timeframe. And at this juncture here, June the 12th, he begins to come into 11th, 12th, that square to Uranus. Uranus is about surprise and not always something we're expecting or desiring. So an unexpected bit of a shock or surprise around an 8th house story. Well, I'm going to say a few things. Venus is here, so it could be an unexpected divulgence about a hidden love story. It could be any hidden love story. You find out that your mother was having an affair on your dad, that your partner had an affair on you in the past, but there's kind of maybe some revelations going on here, some shocking new discoveries around sexual or romantic matters, Venus, Uranus, but also this is your chunky money house. We can't forget that. So some chunky money surprises are here as well. Now, Mars could be some unexpected developments regarding a career gain that you're not going to get. You thought you were going to get that sign-on bonus. You thought you were going to get that performance review. Shockingly, you didn't. Who knows? Or the stock that you thought was going to take off fails to flourish, or the shocking surprise of a friend and a betrayal around money. I'm sorry to give you the bad news, but June 12th to the 16th, it's a little bit bumpy. It's one of the few really difficult parts of the sky that comes in an acute short blast, and then it goes away. Thank God. Yeah, you don't have to live with it forever. Now, one of the things about the sky that I like, even though we have that bumpy ride, right? And I just told you about, I do want to say that still Venus is protecting the situation in the 8th house. So I'm not saying you're going to lose all of your money or anything like that. Venus is going to hold the helm of the ship and keep it steady. So, but there's just a little pinprick of something that wasn't exactly what you expected. So pay attention to June 12th to the 16th. Nothing I can advise, just buckle up. Mars is getting ready for a sign change. We're going to get to that. And always reminding you that Jupiter is not only squaring Saturn, but he's also squaring Neptune. So when Jupiter gets closer to a Neptune square, then we start to look at what is true and what is real and what is fake. And so fake, deep fakes, something true, real, or fake. Jupiter, wisdom and truth at the top of the sky, fake contracts for a job, fake relationship situation, fake audience marketplace, fake, fake, fake. What is not real? What is not true? Saturn says be realistic. Jupiter says tell the truth. Mercury says tell the truth. So there's a kind of truth moment, a truth speak, truth knowing moment in our sky all month long, but it really comes to a peak with the Neptune story, which is what I'm drawing our attention to, around June the 15th, 16th, 17th, where, Jupiter's like, okay, Neptune, we're going to figure this out. What is real? What is true? On June the 17th, Mars will ingress or move into the sign of Virgo. Virgo is a place where Mars is going to spend 6 weeks, and it's a lovely transit in some ways if you want to do anything passionate and intense and dedicated when you're alone. Like, I don't know, working on a project that you care about. Mercury rules Virgo. It could be a writing project, and really digging into some deep, intense, will-powered drive and ambition around back-end writing projects, for example. Or travel to foreign lands and shores and distant places. Or cutting out those bad habits, addictions, and self-undoing. You've got 6 weeks of Mars in Virgo. I'll be putting a video out just on that story, so wait for that to come out on my channel. Otherwise, when Mars is moving into the sign of Virgo, he is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury's in your career house. So a lot of stuff you might do alone will be focused on career matters. You'll be working hard in your own downtime, in your own private time, on career-related endeavors with a great amount of persistence, drive, and passion. As we move forward and we hit June 18th to the 21st, Mars begins to have a flow to Jupiter, and this is going to open up a sextile of positive luck. So yes, he's drilling into things to do at home alone, but he's sextiling Jupiter. Now, look, sometimes Jupiter can be a teacher. Sometimes the 12th house activates learning. You might be passionately studying or learning something in a professional capacity connected to job and work, and you need a lot of downtime to integrate it. But Mars sextiling Jupiter can also bring you some kind of positive developments in your career that connect you to distant shores and far off lands, and possibly with Saturn in your 7th house, squaring the 4th house and owning it. Some of you may end up with some job opportunities that require you to spend some significant time in another country than the one in which you currently live, or to even relocate your place to another country because of these work opportunities that are blossoming here around the 19th to the 21st, or the 18th to the 21st of June. On June the 21st or 20th, the sun will move into Cancer, and that's our summer solstice. But we also notice as the sun moves into the sign of Cancer that we're going to see some other things happening. So the sun now lights up your 10th house with lucky Jupiter and negotiating Mercury and communicating and selling and marketing Mercury. So don't be afraid of that. This is a glorious time for you, anytime between like June the 21st, all the way through until Mercury leaves your 10th house, which won't happen until June 26th. So 26? Wow, he's moving fast. Yeah, so June 21st to the 26th is an exceptional glory window, a glory window in career and reputation, where you're really at the top of the sky. Maybe the boss loves you, you get a promotion, you get advanced to a new higher level, you get a lot of prosperity from whatever you're doing, especially if you sell, market, or merchandise, or you have ideas, or you're a writer. All really exciting. Use this time then. Use June 21st to the 26th to your advantage. Apply for the job, take the job, bust your ass, get the boss's attention. This is a success window for you. Get the public attention, get in the public eye, stand in front of people, go out and be seen in the world. Now, the next part of the story is Jupiter is the sun as he moves forward, of course. We'll bump into Jupiter. It's just kind of a nice vibe around, June 24th, a kind of like glorious day of advanced power and extreme goodness in your career, where you're shining really brightly in the eyes of authorities above you or in the eyes of your own power and how people see you. Not too shabby for sure. Now, while the sun is up here, the sun is squaring Saturn and sextiling Mars. We talked about the Mars sextile, but what about the sun Saturn square. As soon as the sun enters in here into this part of the sky on the 21st or so, you're going to notice a square to Saturn. Again, are you having a great time in your reputation and career? And a troll, a gnarly business partner, a down and out grumpy significant other is giving you like a thorn in the side? Or are you trying to finalize a contract or a contract or a deal, especially about real estate because of the fourth house? And then Jupiter, rentals, real estate contracts, rental contracts, tension in your sky, really activated here. You're really feeling it highlighted when the sun enters here, June the 21st to the 25th. So, when you think about that, maybe it's all about a move. There's a lot of tension here because you're having to hustle by the end of the month. On June the 26th, Mercury sextiles Uranus, and we don't mind that. It's good news, exciting, unexpected, and shocking, but positive news on June the 26th in your career, in your reputation. Oh, maybe see, where did Mercury go? Mercury sextiles Uranus. Yeah, still there we are. So around the 25th, 24th, 25th, 26th, surprise, good news, career, money that comes in a chunk. I can't find anything bad. The only thing about this is a surprising attraction in the workplace where suddenly you realize your boss is in love with you, you're in love with your coworker. So surprising, shocking communications. You're crushing on someone, secret love in the romance in the workspace, talking to each other. I love you, you love me. Yeah, I love you too. But this is work. We have to keep it a secret. This would be like round, oh my God, June 24th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Now Mercury's going to go on to Leo, where he's going to spend some significant time. He moves into Leo around the 26th, 27th, 26th really. And then he's going to be there until September 2nd. So retrogradation prolongs his stay in the 11th house. And so he's going to be there hunkered down and hanging out for quite a long time. There's nothing to do about it except deal with it. But in July, when he's retrograding, I think it's in July, you're going to find friends from the past coming back into your life. Okay, you'll see. In the meantime, it just means you've got a huge amount of focus on social life, groups of belonging, hanging out with friends, increasing your social influence, having some of your dreams and wishes and desires focused on with new ideas that you have to bring them into fruition. That kind of vibe is really a long stay, right? You got like July, August, you got, June. So it's a long stay. Now, as Mercury moves into this part of your chart, he's coming off the heels of the new moon in Cancer that I almost forgot to tell you about. I apologize. This is at 4 degrees of Cancer in the 10th house on June the 25th. And it's a new beginning and a fresh start with lucky exalted Jupiter by the moon side, midwifing it into being with Mercury here. So I would say it's something like a good news moon for you in the career specter, career stadium of your life. It's a fresh start. It's a new beginning. It's exciting. It's exalted. It's successful. There's something about it that says power, authority, wealth from career-related matters, but produced in a steadfast, long-term gain way, nothing flashy because of Saturn, and with an eye to being realistic about it all. But if you do have a new job beginning or some part of your career changing around this time and starting fresh around the 25th, you can pretty well count on it being something you're likely to do for 3 years. I'm not going to explain why, but just trust me, it's a Saturn story. So it's not just like, oh, look at me, I got a high flying, some kind of advancement in my work. Look for this to be a long game story for at least a 3-year run on some new fresh starts. The moon is happening on June the 25th, but it shows you what it's about in the 2 weeks that follow, and it unfolds over the course of 6 months. Now, we also might notice that there's a wedge in our sky. Watch the wedge form. Mercury wants to have a match, fighting, shouting, power struggle match with a lover, a child, somebody who's creative or artistic in your life, or your own entrepreneurial, powerful goals and ambitions or creative projects you're working on. Opposite Mercury. So the demands of the career gains or social group settings or all of that are at odds with the romantic partner, with the entrepreneurial or creative projects you're working on. There's a tension between Mercury and Pluto, and then bang, Saturn says, I'll try to fix it here. I've got it. I'll fix it. There could be romantic problems or relationship problems. because you're having to socialize or do business lunches or spend more time, out and about with groups of people. And there's going to be this maybe romantic tension or love tension. And then Saturn's going to try to stabilize it, find a solution that's a long solution that can last. If you're a creative artist or an entrepreneur, I mean, it's like, do you want to stay in and create, or do you want to go out and socialize? I mean, it sounds silly, right? It's such a small little deal, but whatever it is, the right answer can bring long-term gains and success to your audience and marketplace. So you have to find a balance between a busy outer life. I'm on a podcast. I'm at a trade show. I'm negotiating and at a banquet with other people in my colleague settings. And wait, what about my creative entrepreneurial stuff? I want a long game result here. I got to find some balance between competing agendas. Mercury's news and Pluto is difficulty. So there's some transformative, regenerative intensity around communication going on. This could involve a sibling one older than you, and it could involve a sibling two younger than you. These are the 11th and 5th house placement. So sibling tension, and you're kind of, in between. You are the wedge. You're having to help negotiate something between the siblings in the story of your life. Difficult circumstances for one of your children or your lover, and you're looking at a way to patch it up or help them, or they can help themselves here. So it doesn't last, this wedge. It's not a long story, but it's around June the 27th to the 30th. And that's what I've got for you. Don't forget, Venus is going to collide with Uranus, and that's a big, surprising, shocking, good news story about chunk of money energy coming at you. No complaints there. You're going to feel that coming up in the first week of July. Well, I hope that was useful for you as what sign was I on? Libra, sun, moon, and rising. I'm going to take a shower, wash the pollens out of my eyes. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want to join my Patreon community, you would have got this already, May the 21st, without any ads. And if you want to check out all the other stuff about me, look in the description box below. I'd love to see some of you in Sky Reader. Come have some fun with me. Learn to time your best life and be your own astrologer. I will hope to see some of you in class this summer, July and August. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.